Hey guys, what's going on? This is Space here, and welcome to a new review. Now today, of course, we're reviewing Halo Reach, one of my personal favorite Halo games. So this game is the 6th installment of the Halo series. It came out in 2010, and the game is actually a prequel to Halo Combat Evolved, the very first Halo game. So, the basic story of Reach is that this planet, called Reach, believe it or not, falls under attack from these aliens known as the Covenant. They attack the human colonists on Reach, and it is up to the Noble team to take down the Covenant. Now, unlike in the previous Halo games where you play as Master Chief, this time you play as Noble 6, a member of the Noble Squadron. Now, something really cool that was added to this game was the fact that you can customize your character. Since you're not Master Chief, you can make your character look like anything you want. You can change the color of the armor, you can add different details to it, different pieces of armor, you can buy certain armor pieces. And you can even change the gender and voice of Noble 6, making it a little bit of a more personal experience since you get to design your own character. And of course, with enough credits, you can make your own Master Chief. Now, in the Halo games before this one, more specifically Combat Evolved, you were pretty much alone on the levels. Of course, you had Cortana with you, but sometimes you had Marines too, but most of the time you're pretty much just alone, facing the Covenant and the world all by yourself. In this game, however, you're usually accompanied by at least one of the Noble Squadron. Each of the characters in Noble Team is all unique from each other, they all have their own armor, and it's just really cool that they just put some time into these characters. You also grow attached to these characters and really kind of build a bond with them, and they're really helpful in levels too. Like, of course, it's very helpful having another Spartan with you. Makes the levels a little easier having that extra help. You have great and memorable characters such as June, Emily, and George. The overall story is really amazing and really just well done, and it has some great emotional moments too. This game definitely isn't your standard shooter. But however, despite the amazing story, there is also some amazing combat in this game too. The combat, of course, is pretty similar to the rest of the Halo games. It feels pretty smooth, and there isn't really any clunkiness to it. I really like the combat in this game. I think it's a lot of fun, and there are a wide variety of weapons to use. Now, starting off with the UNSC weapons, you have, of course, the standard pistol, which actually is pretty darn good, one of my favorite weapons in the game, actually. You have a few different assault rifles. You've got, like, the standard one from the first Halo Combat Evolved, as well as this newer one, which is, like, a combination between a sniper rifle and a standard assault rifle. I really like that one as well. It gets the job done. You have, of course, the sniper rifle, as well as, of course, grenades and other stuff like that. Overall, the UNSC weapons are pretty darn good. I enjoy using them. They do look a little plain, but they still have, of course, like some pretty cool designs nonetheless. And of course, you can pick up enemies' weapons too. You have like a variety of these energy-based weapons, like this one that shoots out like a green explosion, which is really nice. You also have, of course, the Needler, which shoots out needles at the enemies. It kind of like tracks them and stuff. It's really handy. And there's also, of course, the iconic energy sword, which is so amazing and a lot of fun to use. Overall, the combat is a lot of fun, it's very satisfying, and it's pretty easy to get used to. I found myself actually getting fairly decent at the game, just by playing it for like a few hours. This was the first Halo game that I played, and actually back when I first started playing this game, I was so bad at it, it just took me forever to get through levels, I was just so terrible. But now that I'm older, I actually do understand how to play the game now, so yeah, it's a lot of fun to play with. Now, of course, you need enemies to use these weapons on. So, of course, you have your standard little grunts. Those guys are pretty funny. They don't really pose too much of a challenge alone, but when they like gang up on you, it starts to get a little more complex. You have the brutes, which are these like big guys that have shields on them. It takes a little bit to take them down, but if you get headshots, it's usually pretty easy. You have jackals, which have these, sometimes they have snipers or sometimes they have shields. The shields are pretty annoying from a distance. When you get up close, you can just smash through them, so pretty fun to do that. I'm sure they don't like that, but you know, what are you going to do? You have these pretty strong guys. They're called hunters. They're really big. They're like just like huge, like big versions of the brutes with shields and guns. They actually have these explosion guns, and they're pretty hard to take down unless if you hit them in their right spot. They have like a certain weak point, but for the most part, they're pretty difficult to take down without hitting that weak spot. So those definitely present a challenge. There are a few other random enemies here and there, as well as of course some enemies on different vehicles. You have like a tank. You have of course the Banshee, an iconic piece in Halo. And you have these Covenant dropships, as well as some other ships here and there too. So there are a lot of enemies to fight, and it does pose a challenge. A very fun challenge, though. Now the story missions. The story missions are very memorable. I loved all of them. There's some really amazing level designs in this game. It's really hard to forget all of the levels. They're just so amazing. Each one stands out on its own. Or you've got this one called Exodus, where you're all alone, which is really awesome. You know, it's like one of the first times in the game where you're actually alone, where you're not with a Noble team, and you have to fight off this group of Covenant attacking this city. It's just so amazing. And you have another level called Nightfall, which takes place, of course, in the night, obviously. And you have a sniper too, and it's so much fun. And you also have this space battle too, which I thought was really cool. You get to actually fly a fighter, which I believe is called a Saber, which is really awesome. So this game, like the very first Halo and a lot of the Halos in the series, is jam-packed with some amazing levels, a lot of fun levels. And to be honest, I liked all of the levels. I thought they were just all so amazing. One last thing to talk about before my final rating is the soundtrack. Now, Halo is definitely known for its amazing soundtrack. It's got so many amazing themes in it, in all of the games, and this is definitely not an exception either. This game has some amazing soundtrack moments. It's just like so amazing. Like there are some points where the soundtrack is really driving the scene, and other times the soundtrack is just helping the scene. But overall, the music really just stands out, and it's so amazing, really well crafted and well made, and yes, really adds to the experience. So yes. So overall, this game is a very fun game. It has a lot of fun combat, a very good story, great characters, great voice acting, really awesome level designs, and of course a great soundtrack to boot. Now of course, I'm going to give this game a 6 out of 6, which on my rating scale is a must play. Thank you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys next time. I'll be reviewing all of the Halo games, including Halo 5, yes. Well, except for Halo Wars. I haven't actually played those, but you never know, I might play them.